Yellowstone latest quakes and eruptions sparked talks of the supervolcano sleeping giant reawakening. A cluster of earthquakes at the beginning of May, and a usually dormant geyser's fourth eruption sparked speculation about if the Yellowstone supervolcano will blow, causing a new ice age, as what happened in the past. A new cluster of earthquakes at Yellowstone National Park, followed by the fourth eruption of its usually dormant geyser, sparked speculation about the world's largest supervolcano, Yellowstone. Is the big one about to blow, blanketing the U.S. with ash and sending the Earth into another volcanic ice age? Probably not, but some of the signs are there. Yellowstone National Park in the United States of Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Utah, Four Corners area is a popular 9,000 square kilometer tourist attraction with wildlife, wonderful scenery, and geothermal wonders. The United Nations World Heritage Site of Yellowstone Park lies over giant chambers of molten magma, and it's actually the world's largest supervolcano, and it erupted 2.1 million years ago, 1.3 million years ago, and 640,000 years ago, causing massive devastation around the whole world. Now today, Yellowstone bubbles away with its hot springs and geysers with endearing names, and the most famous is Old Faithful, so called because it puts on a show for visitors every 91 minutes, just about like clockwork. Recently, though, we've had the Steamboat Geyser, which last erupted September 2014. Then on March 15 this year, it blew back into life following eruptions, followed by eruptions on April 19th and April 27th. On May 4th, it erupted again, the fourth time in 7 weeks, and it's now the world's tallest and most powerful active geyser. The eruptions came on the back of an earthquake activity at Yellowstone recorded by the USGS. It was a swarm of more than 200 earthquakes that struck Yellowstone over a 2-week period. It started February 8th of this year and increased on February 15th in the area 13 kilometers northeast of West Yellowstone in Montana. The USGS reported that a bigger series of tiny quakes also hit the area, but they were too seismometers to record. There were not enough seismometers to record them. A swarm indicates a shifting of the major tectonic plates beneath the Earth's surface, and there's also movements of water, gas, and magma. Yellowstone is one of the several supervolcanoes in the world. This, of course, means that it's a huge, large volcano with the power to spew rock and debris over a larger distance than a regular volcano, and it can alter the Earth's atmosphere because of this, causing death to humans and animals alike. Supervolcanoes also exist in nearby California. That's the Long Valley volcano, Lake Toba in northern Sumatra, Lake Taupo in New Zealand, Aira in Japan, and Valles in northern Mexico. So, out of these few supervolcanoes of the whole world, 2 of them are very close to each other in the United States. It's the Yellowstone volcano, supervolcano, and the Long Valley, California volcano. California has 8 volcanoes, and Long Valley is a supervolcano. Now, the last full-scale eruption of Yellowstone supervolcano, the Lava Creek eruption, happened 640,000 years ago. It ejected approximately 240 cubic miles of rock, dust, and volcanic ash into the sky. Geologists are closely monitoring the rise and fall of Yellowstone, which has been rising at about half an inch per year, as an indication of changes that are happening underground in the magma chamber. That means that pressure is building up. The upward movement of the Yellowstone caldera floor between 2004 and 2008, almost 3 inches each year, was more than 3 times greater than ever observed since such measurements began back in 1923. From 2004 to 2008, the land surface within the caldera moved upward as much as 8 inches at the White Lake GPS station, and by the end of 2009, the uplift had slowed significantly and appeared to have stopped. January 2010, USGS stated that uplift of the Yellowstone caldera was slowed significantly and that uplift continues but at a slower pace. The USGS, University of Utah, and National Park Service scientists at the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory state that they, quote, see no evidence that another such cataclysmic eruption will occur at Yellowstone in the foreseeable future. Recurrent intervals of these events are neither regular nor predictable, end quote. So this conclusion was again reiterated September 2013 in the aftermath of the publication of the study by University of Utah scientists finding that the size of the magma body beneath Yellowstone is actually significantly larger than had been thought previously. The Yellowstone Volcano Observatory issued a statement on its website stating, although fascinating, the new findings do not imply increased geological hazards at Yellowstone, certainly do not increase the chances of a super eruption in the near future. Contrary to some media reports, Yellowstone is not overdue for a super eruption. Nevertheless, we are keeping our eyes on this because of what's happening in Kilauea, and also the quakes making their way up towards Mauna Loa, and of course the quake yesterday that happened on Sunday in Guatemala. And they're still ongoing. The lava flows are ongoing. The lava flows in Kilauea have been going on since May 4th. That's over a month. And that eruption is still flowing. Here you see the comparison of the Yellowstone compared to, for example, Mount St. Helens, how huge it is, comparative volumes of eruptions. The Yellowstone hotspot is the permanent and most accessible hotspot on Earth. Its volcanic and tectonic activity affected 5 states, fully 25% of the western U.S. interior, in the last 16 million years. The hotspot is currently active at Yellowstone and has left a trail of volcanic centers on the Snake River Plain. It's located within the extending Basin Range Interplate Regiment and occupies a prominent part of the eastern edge of the deforming western United States Cordillera. The cause of the volcanic activity in Yellowstone National Park is, as we said, the Yellowstone caldera. Basically, Yellowstone is located over a mantle hotspot with a large magma reservoir. Now here we have a comparison coming up of the ash clouds. You can see on the upper left-hand side Mount St. Helens ash 1980 as compared to the Long Valley, California caldera. That is the dark orange dashed line. That takes up about half the United States. Then you have the Yellowstone Plateau, Mesa Falls ashbed. Then you have the Huckleberry Ridge ashbed and the Lava Creek ashbed. You can see that it's covering most of the United States. And this, of course, would be devastating if this happened. It's not only the United States, it would affect the most of the northern hemisphere. On a global scale, The eruption could likely lead to severe weather disruptions and to the loss of the life of at least 1 billion people. Emissions of sulfur aerosols during the 1991 Pinatubo eruption produced global cooling by an average of 1 degree centigrade for a few years, while the 50-kilometer cubed Tambora eruption of 1815 cooled the planet enough to produce the famed Year Without a Summer in 1816, during which snow fell in June in eastern North America and crop failures led to the worst famine of the 19th century. Thankfully, though, all current seismicity and ground deformation at Yellowstone appear to be within normal range, as declared by the United States Geological Survey. Volcanologists are not expecting major eruption anytime soon, and the agency said Yellowstone is behaving as it has for the past 140 years.